You think your own backyard pool is yours? Tell that to Brenda Whitaker when she rolls up with bolt cutters, 2 cops, and a clipboard, screaming that your private oasis is a community hazard she has every right to inspect. I never asked to be the villain of Oak Ridge Estates. I just wanted to drink my morning coffee by the pool my dad built in 1979. The same one where I learned to swim and where my wife scattered his ashes in the deep end the week after he passed. 10 acres of unincorporated land just outside the subdivision. Technically not part of their HOA at all. But Brenda didn't care about technicalities. Brenda cared about control. It started politely enough. The way these things always do in neighborhoods that smile while they sharpen the knives. A sunny Saturday. I was skimming leaves when her white SUV pulled up. She stepped out in the standard HOA uniform, navy polo with the embroidered oak leaf, khakis pressed like she was going to war, and that clipboard she treated like a presidential seal. "Good morning," she sang, voice dripping artificial sweetener. "Brenda Whitaker, president of the Oak Ridge Homeowners Association. We're just doing our quarterly wellness check to make sure everything meets community standards." I wiped my hands on a towel. "Morning. Appreciate the thought. But I'm not in the HOA." Her smile didn't even flicker. "Oh. Honey. Everyone says that at first. But our covenants run with the land. It's all in the welcome packet. Ma'am. This property predates your covenants by almost a decade. Deeds clear. Never signed. Never joined." She tilted her head like I'd spoken a foreign language. "We'll just need to verify that. For safety. Of course. Especially the pool. You know how dangerous unregulated water features can be." I laughed. "Couldn't help it. Unregulated? It's in my backyard. Behind a 6-foot fence. On land my family has owned since before this subdivision existed." Brenda's eyes narrowed just a fraction. "We'll be in touch." She was. Oh. She was. The first letter arrived 3 days later. Formal letterhead. Gold embossed logo. The works. Notice of potential violation, unauthorized pool structure visible from public right-of-way. They wanted an inspection within 10 business days or fines would begin at $75 per day. I scanned it, shook my head, and filed it with the growing stack of junk mail. Then the whispers started. At the mailbox cluster. Conversations died when I walked up. The same neighbors who used to wave now suddenly remembered urgent errands. Someone started a rumor that I was running an unlicensed party pool on weekends. Another claimed I refused safety inspections because I was hiding something. Brenda's private Facebook group, which I wasn't even in, apparently lit up with posts about that antisocial veteran on the edge of the neighborhood who thinks he's above the rules. I stayed quiet. Watched. Documented every letter. Every time-stamped photo of her SUV creeping past my gate. Every drone that started hovering just beyond my property line at dusk. 23 years in the Air Force taught me something useful: never interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake. The fines escalated. $75 became $150. Then $250. Failure to maintain community aesthetic harmony. Unauthorized water feature. My favorite was the one claiming my pool tiles were non-compliant with approved color palette and therefore a visual nuisance. I kept fixing what needed fixing. Repainted the deck the same deep green my dad used. Planted more privacy hedges. Installed my own cameras, not to spy. Just to record the circus. Then Brenda went full Karen. One Thursday evening. I was grilling steaks when I heard the metallic snip-snip of bolt cutters. I walked around the side of the house and there she was, Brenda Whitaker in all her glory. Crouched at my pool gate in broad daylight. Two board members filming on their phones like it was TikTok content. The padlock I'd installed after the first inspection request lay in pieces on the ground. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I asked. Voice calm. "Emergency safety inspection," she snapped, standing up and brushing off her khakis. "We've received multiple complaints about inadequate barriers and possible health code violations. As board president, I'm authorized to act when there's imminent risk to the community." One of the board members, a nervous guy named Todd, shifted his weight. "Brenda, maybe we should." "Quiet, Todd." She turned back to me, eyes glittering with righteous fury. "You've ignored every notice. This is for the children. There are no children here. Brenda, this is my backyard." "Exactly. An unregulated pool next to a family neighborhood is a liability. We have to think of property values." I pulled out my phone, started recording. "You're trespassing. Cutting my lock. On camera." Her face flushed crimson. "This is HOA business. You can't just hide behind some dusty old deed forever." That's when the first police cruiser turned into my driveway. Lights flashing but no siren. Brenda had called them too. Of course she had. Officer Ramirez stepped out first, followed by his partner. Brenda immediately launched into performance mode. "Officer, this man has repeatedly denied the HOA access to inspect a community-adjacent pool that poses a clear safety risk. We tried to perform a lawful wellness check and he's being hostile." I kept my hands visible. "Officers, this is my private property. She just cut my lock. I have it on video." Brenda waved her clipboard like a holy text. "Our covenants supersede." Ramirez held up a hand. "Ma'am, slow down." "Sir, you got any paperwork showing this isn't under HOA jurisdiction?" I'd been waiting months for this moment. I went inside. Came back with the original 1979 deed, the county survey, and the letter from the assessor's office confirming my parcel was unincorporated and never annexed. I handed the folder to Ramirez. He flipped through it. His eyebrows went up. "Ma'am," he said to Brenda, "this property isn't listed under your association. At all. It predates your formation." Brenda's face did something beautiful. The confident smile cracked, then shattered. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. The clipboard actually trembled in her hands. That can't be right. Our records show." "Your records," I said quietly, "are wrong. And you've been sending me fake fines. Spreading rumors about me running some kind of illegal pool operation. And now trespassing with tools. All on camera." The second officer was already taking photos of the cut lock and the bolt cutters lying in the grass. Brenda's voice rose an octave. "This is ridiculous. We're trying to protect the neighborhood." Ramirez looked at her the way you look at a raccoon that just learned how to open a trash can. "Ma'am, step back from the gate. This is private property. You don't have jurisdiction here." For the first time, Brenda Whitaker had nothing to say. Her two board members suddenly found the asphalt fascinating. What happened next was pure poetry. I didn't file a lawsuit right away. I let the county do it for me. When the assessor's office dug into the HOA's updated boundary maps, they discovered something delicious: the entire Oak Ridge Community Clubhouse, the building where Brenda held her Thursday night meetings, stored her precious clipboards, and hosted her standards enforcement parties, sat on a sliver of land that had never been properly transferred. It was still legally part of my family's original parcel. 30 years of HOA dues, meetings, and power trips on land they didn't own. The audit went nuclear. County investigators found forged signatures, missing filings, and years of collecting fees on property outside their jurisdiction. Brenda's empire was built on quicksand and photocopies. The local news picked it up. HOA president accused of fraudulent land claims after botched pool inspection. They even used footage from my cameras, Brenda with the bolt cutters, red-faced and screaming. The Facebook group turned on her faster than you can say property values. The same neighbors who'd ghosted me started posting "I always thought something was off" comments like they hadn't been her personal gossip choir for months. Brenda tried the classic Karen comeback tour, victim videos, GoFundMe for legal defense, claims that I was weaponizing outdated paperwork against the community. But the more she talked, the worse it got. The final hearing was almost anticlimactic. The judge dissolved the entire Oak Ridge HOA for systemic fraud and misrepresentation. Brenda was personally barred from ever serving on another homeowner's board in the state. Fines, restitution, the whole humiliating package. I kept the brass padlock I replaced the cut one with. Had it engraved, "Private property. Public respect." Last weekend I did something I hadn't done in over a year. I opened the gate and let the neighborhood kids come swim. Their parents stood around awkwardly at first, then started smiling. One mom, the same one who'd crossed the street to avoid me, actually apologized. The water sparkled under the sun exactly like it did when I was a kid. No clipboards. No drones. No Brenda. Sometimes justice doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with the quiet sound of a Karen finally shutting up. So tell me in the comments, was I the stubborn one for protecting what my family built? Or was Brenda the real neighborhood threat hiding behind rules and safety? Who was actually in the wrong here? Drop your thoughts. I read every single one.